Hello and welcome to this Quest for XP video from JoypadAndMe. Today we're going to be looking at Mass Effect 3 and most importantly the Quarian Engineer. As you can see from the early part of the video, the arc grenade is one of the main tools used for this class, and we're going to go through that a little bit more in a minute. And the reason I've actually started you off on the extraction start of this is just to show a couple of mistakes that I made. One, once I've been damaged, didn't use my cloak. Admittedly, sometimes using the cloak can be a mistake because you've got to rebuild your shield, which cannot happen if you're cloaked, but sometimes just trying to be able to run away and avoid a death like that is quite important. So that's my first takedown. So I'm hiding here now. As you can see, I'm trying to hold off the enemy here, and what I don't do is cover my back. Probably not covering your back is enemies can start to come up. So again, trying to take a little bit of pressure out, chucking some of those grenades. Again, grenades are very handy. It's a bit cheap kills, but again, it does help you when you're going solo, which this round obviously is, as you could see. And then hunters come along, take me out completely. Again, I die. It's when you're under this sort of when you've been cornered like this is the problem. When you're trying to play solo, you've got to rush. You can't stand still. And then I make the fatal mistake of deciding that I can run quicker than a bullet. I can't. I die. Well-deserved death by me. And unfortunately, after going 10 rounds, I finally end up dying. But yeah, these things happen to us all. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewind a bit of time, and we're going to start again from the insertion into this round. So as I said, as you can see in the top right hand corner, choosing my class, I'm the Quarian Engineer. What I really want to show you is why I choose what I choose in terms of trying to start off this match. So obviously, as you can see in the right corner, we're going to quickly just flick through into our powers. So everything I'm going to do, because I know I'm going solo, what I really want to do is make sure that I'm the best defensive I can be. So things like the tactical cloak are very handy, just so I can disappear when I need to. I unfortunately made a mistake here by not also choosing tech damage straight away and then not using it. It's very handy actually, instead I concentrated on tactical cloak and also the arc grenades, and that's one of the main powers of this class, is just those grenades, because they do give quite a lot of splash damage and they also do give quite a lot of damage overall. So very good for when you're in multiplayer trying to get assists, but also very good just to try to clear out the enemy. As far as the fitness goes, again, it's just trying to make sure I'm as powerful as I can be, making sure I can take as many weapons on board and obviously lower my weight as well. And obviously then when it comes to the shields and things, I want high shields, high strength. Headshots aren't important to me, but the defensive parts are. So, and then we start to look at our weapons. So the weapons are always fun. I've started to use the M55 Argus. It's a burst rifle, a burst assault rifle, and I must say, it's one of the biggest problems I think in Mass Effect is I do not like the assault rifles. The reason I didn't choose a sniper rifle is because when you're playing singly, what you don't want to do is you don't want to be locked into that scope. As soon as you start looking that way, people are then going to be able to come in behind you, and that means you can die quite quickly. So what I decided to do instead was go for the assault rifle. So as you can see, it's quite nice. It's quite nice and powerful. It does give you quite a few kills. So I would suggest it as quite a good gun. And then I was playing around with having lots of different weapons. So in the end, I decided to go for the Argus, and then also to try to use one of my pistols. The reason for a pistol is just for its ease of use, so you don't have to reload as quickly. You can get out that second gun as fast as you can and start taking people out. So on to slight bits of the gameplay. The way that I play when I'm playing singly rushing is try to make sure that I'm trying to rush, single player, sorry, is that I rush. So what I try not to do is don't camp into too many areas. Keep on running, hit and run, hit and run. Bit like guerrilla warfare. So again, it's lots and lots of grenades and lots of firepower. Then disappear when I need to, run away, and then come back in, get a few kills, and then disappear again. It's that quick hit, disappear, and it really does help you to make sure that you win every single one of these rounds. This is on bronze, I will admit it. It was my first game back actually, my first solo play game back, and Mass Effect 3 is a game that I really have begun to enjoy again. As you can see from this map, it's the new version, so they've opened up a few of the spaces, like this corridor you can see just ahead of me, and again it's just made the maps that little bit different and given it the game a little bit more. Unfortunately, at this point I've actually got the worst possible mission I have to do. Actually, the worst one is when you have to defend one point by trying to hold off the enemy while also trying to take down these devices. Can be quite difficult. Again, it's lots of trying to keep the enemy away, lots of running, and then a bit of cloaking as well, just so you can have that extra bit of time to defend, and hopefully the enemy won't see you straight away. It does tend to work, and I think I did quite on it, so that's always quite good. Whenever you're going solo on this game, you've always got to think, keep your mind fresh, but also keep your eyes open. So as you can see, trying to make sure that once I start arming the device, that I try to make sure that I'm facing towards the point where most players are going to come. It's all the POMO, position and maximum opportunity rubbish that they teach you in sports, but it does make complete sense. So what you try and do is you're trying to make sure that you can give the most amount of availability to your vision that you can for your oncoming rushing enemy. So obviously the other great thing about Mass Effect is just using the cover. I don't actually use cover as much as I should do. I do tend to use it at certain points, but I don't really go into cover that much. I don't know why. Most of it is just actually the mechanics of it. Just sometimes can feel a little bit clunky, especially because it's mapped to the same key as actually running. But that's something that I should work on. It's something that I can improve. Other things that I should be improving at the moment is aiming high. I did say at the beginning about why I didn't choose my headshots off of the skills tree. Headshots again with the Argus don't really count because of the amount of shots it will still take to get a kill. They count a lot more when using a sniper rifle. So, but at the end, it doesn't excuse the fact that a lot of the time I'm shooting towards these players' guts. They're not players. I'm shooting towards the AI's guts, which then means that the fact that I'm not going to get as much damage as I could do. So that's something again that you should always work on. Try and keep that reticle up. The higher the reticle, the more headshots you're going to get. Obviously, one thing about Mass Effect is if you were playing against the Reapers, the fact of some of the cannibals don't have their heads where you'd expect them to be, but again you can always play about, and it's still quite high on their agenda. It's still quite high on their body where their face would be. But again, that's something that when you're playing the game, you've got to make sure that you know your enemies, and that's one thing about this game. And that's one thing that does make it absolutely, for me, one of the best things is you don't know what enemy you're going to play. And then also all the enemies have different strengths, and then again with the retaliation pack that BioWare have just built out, you are noticing there's a lot more different classes with the collectors coming into it, and also with the additions to the Geth with the Geth bomber. These type of enemies are just making that game that little bit more, and I can't believe that it's almost 6 months later and we're still getting huge bits of free DLC. And that's why I think that I've almost fallen back in love with Mass Effect, just because of these map packs and these different changes to all the multiplayer. Yet again, you're getting more weapons, more characters. One of which is the Volus, which I will be doing a video on, because the Volus is just an absolutely fun character. Very weak, but has loads of skills and can cause quite a bit of damage. But you just have to be quite careful when you're playing it. But again, so with you, and you're looking at the Quarians, again, their power is quite weak. As you can see, a few shots and I've already lost my shield, and that is a slight issue. So when I was choosing my equipment, I could have chosen to have my extra shield, but I decided to have the extra grenades. Again, I tried to concentrate on defense when I was choosing my powers, on offense when I'm trying to look at my equipment. Whether that was a good idea or not, I'm not 100% sure, but again, it seems to work at certain points. If you're I think if you're a bit worried about your defense, or again, if you have very strong equipment, you've got to base it around yourself. So you think about what you have for equipment before you choose your powers, because that means you'll be able to balance out between what's the best one to take and what's the best one to leave behind. Fighting with the Geth always used to be the weakest class, but I think between the Geth bombers and the updates that they've made to some of these, the Geth are actually becoming more difficult. I still think they are the easiest, but there's a lot less gap now, I think, between the strength of the Geth and the strength of some of the other aliens. The collectors, unfortunately, are blinking difficult. We have to bring some video for those, which is great because they just offer that extra bit of tension, and because they are so difficult and very hard to take down. So I hope this has been informative. If you like the video, please don't forget to like. If not, then please leave a comment. Constructive criticism is always handy. It does teach us, to help me to get better. And we'd love to see you come over to the website at JoypadAndMe. We have lots of reviews and information and lots of game nights going on, so please do come over and check it out. Okay, thank you very much. Thanks for your time, and good night.
Enemy down to 50% strength. A recon drone with enemy fleet intel went to ground in this area. On it! My troop! Come on!
Signature active.
Stay close so your Omni tool keeps it. The drone is down. Get close again.
Assisting friendly forces. Proximity field empty. Shutdown engaged. Scanning enemies. Speed march engaged.
Halfway to go.
Attempting deterrence. Electrical deterrence online.
The drone's almost there.
Repulsor activated. Uploading.
Mission accomplished.
Powering down.
Shield's gone! Stay alert. Enemies approaching. Contact! Get right!
more! Acknowledged. Hostile!
Enemy is regrouping. Time to reload. Here they come.
Copy that. Enemy! My suit! Shield down! Punctured! Lost shields!
Down to the last enemy.
Last enemy!
regrouping. We've got a drone downed in the area. It's got true position data. Make it upload stat.
Understood. Go, go, go!
Matrix activated.
Keep close to the drone, we'll go dark again.
Proximity field. Local systems. Power at maximum. Allow me to go. Friendly is in the air. Engaging defensive. Discouraging foe.
Keep at it. You're close to the upload site.
Systems. Proximity field empty. Engaging defensive shutdown. Uploading.
Data received in full. Good work.
Shield drop!
Only one more enemy.
One more.
Clean sweep. Well done. Stay alert. Enemy is regrouping.